cream, sugar, lemon?
No, thank you. It's just fine as is.
You can't be sure until you've tasted it, darling. I'm not certain my skill at tea brewing is all it should be.
It certainly was kind of you to make the tea on Lottie's afternoon off.
Well, I thought that, what, with the two of us here, quite alone, it would help to pass the time. Now drink up.
It's so hard to simply just sit here, wondering, worrying.
About what?
Why, Father, of course.
Oh, yes, of course, I've nearly forgotten.
Forgotten Father?
What I mean, my dear, is that I'm so swept up in my own personal concern for him and his whereabouts that I quite forgot how much you must also be concerned. Now drink up.
Do you know, I was wondering if Father might not be in the cellar.
What? What a silly notion. The cellar, indeed. If he were, we'd have found him there.
Oh, but there's a secret room down there. I've only just now remembered it.
You must be mistaken, my dear. Now hurry, drink your tea before it gets cold.
Mavis, surely Father told you about it. His various secret rooms and drawers and things were his particular pride and joy. I'd have thought he'd share the secret with the woman he married.
Well, now, he may have said something or other about it. I've been so upset since his disappearance that I can't be expected to recall everything.
Oh, no, I quite understand, Mavis. I still think it would be worth our while to have a little peep into the murder room.
Where did you say?
Oh, that was just one of Father's little jokes. You know how funny he is.
Yes, a barrel of laughs.
He always used to josh about the secret room in the cellar. Said it would be a perfectly smashing place to hide a body after a murder because no one knew it was there. So, we came to refer to it as the murder room. Are you sure he didn't say anything to you about it?
Well, now, perhaps he said something of the sort. Oh, that room! Just behind the wine rack, you mean?
Yes, that's the one. I thought perhaps he might be hiding in there. He does so enjoy pulling one's leg.
I dare say. But in any case, he simply can't be in that room. Constable Howard mentioned quite definitely that the wine rack was solid. It seems to me that the secret door had been nailed shut. Yes, that's it. It all comes back to me now. The panel in the wine rack that used to open into the secret room is nailed firmly shut.
How strange. Do you think we should mention it to the police?
No. I mean, since this is nailed shut, he can't have gone behind it. And why should we waste the policeman's time following false leads?
That's true, I suppose.
Besides, if he had been accidentally nailed in there, I'm certain he would have counted upon the back of the wine rack to be let out. After all, he's surely suffocated if he'd been nailed in there. Even if he were perfectly healthy when he was first sealed in. Yes, of course. Even a healthy man would suffocate there in a day's time.
Oh, but Father wouldn't let that happen to him.
My dear, I don't see what he could do about preventing it.
Well, because obviously if Father had accidentally got himself locked in there, he'd certainly come popping out of the other secret door.
Other secret door? What are you saying? What other secret door?
Why, at the foot of the secret stairway, of course. Didn't Father mention it to you?
No. No, you never mentioned it. Not a word. I had no idea there was another way out of that room.
Oh, I'm so glad I could cheer you up this way.
What? Cheer me up?
Why, yes, I can tell your mood is much more alive than when we first sat down to tea. So, I can only imagine it has done wonders for your spirit to know that if Father had got himself accidentally locked in there, he'd certainly be out by now.
Yes, yes, of course. But Susan, this other exit, where is it?
Let me think. It occurs to me that the secret room is, Oh, there's the door. Shall I get it?
No, I will. I can't imagine he will be calling on us at this time.
Perhaps it's Father.
I wish you hadn't said that.
Who is it?
The Constable Howard of the Harrogate Police, Mom.
Oh, how nice! It's only the police. Good afternoon, Constable.
Good afternoon, Miss.
Good afternoon, Constable. To what do we owe this unexpected pleasure?
Oh, there's been a few new developments in the case. I thought I might share them with you.
And not with me?
Well, I was using the word in the plural sense with both of you, naturally.
Won't you join us? We're just having tea.
Oh, very kind of you, I'm sure. I do hate to miss my tea. With all this work, I thought I might have to pass it by.
Here, take mine.
No!
Oh, let's say.
It's cold. That's what it is called. I can't give you cold tea. I'll just go make some fresh.
Really, Mavis, darling.
Oh, nonsense. The least I can do. I won't be a minute.
So your stepmother always this jittery, miss?
Oh, I'm sure not. It's just worry about father. He would make anyone a bit jumpy. Do you know, I thought she might faint when I suggested there might be father at the door just now.
Must be rather anxious, mustn't she?
Oh, I expect us to all talk about the secret room.
Secret room, did you say?
Oh, please don't say anything to her about it. I did promise her I wouldn't bother the police. Now, it's nothing like that. It's just we didn't want you wasting time on a false trail.
And what makes you so certain that it would be a false trail, miss?
Well, because obviously if father had accidentally gotten himself nailed into the secret room behind the wine rack, he'd certainly come popping out of the other secret stairway.
Room. Wine. Secret stairway.
Oh, please don't say anything to Mavis. I did promise her I wouldn't help you with all this.
Of course, perhaps sometime you wouldn't mind showing me where the secret stairway is?
If you like, don't say
Oh, let's not say anything. We wouldn't want to upset her.
You're so understanding. Back so soon, Mavis?
The water is just heating up for the tea. What have you two been chatting about?
Yes, the weather.
What about the weather?
Nice.
Ever so nice.
That's nice. But you said you had news for us, Constable.
Oh, yes. Well, it may not be important, but...
Even so, I should like to hear it.
Yes, well, it's about your father's disappearance.
Well, naturally. What else could it be?
Well, not so much about his disappearance specifically, more about the act of disappearing itself.
Oh, I'm afraid you have me at a loss, Constable.
Well, you see, in order for someone to disappear, they must first be in a place and then not be in that place, do you see? So if he went off, our problem is, how did he go off?
Does it really matter so much?
Perhaps not, but it does give us food for thought, if you see what I mean.
I'm not sure I follow.
Well, let's say he's vanished.
He has vanished.
Oh, yes, but I wish to present this as a hypothesis.
Very well.
So if he has vanished, how did he go about doing it? After all, there was only the one car, and you were driving that, right?
Yes.
And there were no trains that evening. None of the cab companies have a record of a man answering to your husband's description. And there were no other cars coming by the house prior to your own that evening.
Can you be quite sure of that?
Well, that's what Lottie assures me. It seems she's a light sleeper, and the headlights of any car approaching the house will awaken her.
Perhaps the car came while it was still light out. It is July. The sun seldom sets before 8 o'clock or so.
Yes, but then Lottie would have been to bed at all yet, do you see?
He might have walked.
Without anyone seeing him? Oh, no, Mavis, I think not. Father was a rather well-known personage hereabouts. Someone would have remembered him.
As a matter of fact, someone did remember seeing him, miss.
There now, what did I tell you?
But he wasn't walking.
What was he doing?
Cycling! On a lady's bicycle after dark.
Father? On a lady's bicycle? Whatever for?
Well, by the reports of 3 independent witnesses, he was following a cat.
That's absurd. Why would father follow a cat about?
You don't suppose it was my cat he was following, do you?
Oh, that's very astute of you. What with your cat dying of cyanide poisoning after all?
Mavis's cat? Poisoned?
I'm afraid, my dear, that in the excitement of your father's disappearance, I forgot to tell you about that.
Quite understandable.
Thank you.
But in any case, we've cleared up the means of father's disappearance. With no car, or train, or cab, he went off by bike.
The only problem with that theory, miss, is that his bicycle is found here, out back in the garage.
Nonsense, sir. You can't know it was the same bicycle.
Well, the 3 witnesses' descriptions tally.
In every respect.
Oh, every one. Golden handlebars, bright red hand grips, turquoise frame, orange fenders, mink fur seat cover, revolving tail lights, 3-tone bell, polka dot chain guard, and lemon-colored pedals.
There must be hundreds like it. I'm sure there are.
Yes, I saw one just like that this very afternoon.
There, you see.
And where was that?
In our garage.
Yes. Perhaps you don't understand.
I'll just go see about the tea, Constable.
Oh, of course, yes. What were we talking about?
Oh, I can't recall.
Well, it probably wasn't important. Excuse me while I get the tea.
I wonder where father could have gone on that lady's bicycle.
Yes, well, we know that right enough. It was found outside a 2-flat building on Sudbury Lane.
Mavis!
Everything all right, miss?
Yes, just fine. I dropped the tea service is all.
No, what a pity.
That's all right. I'll get a cup when I go into town.
It's a terrible mess, I'm afraid. I hope Lottie doesn't have too much trouble cleaning it up. But won't you please continue, Constable?
Well, that's all I have to report, I'm afraid. I will keep you apprised of any further developments.
Dreadfully sorry about your tea, Constable. I hope we may do better next time you join us.
Susan, it isn't likely the constable will be joining us for tea again.
No, but surely he wouldn't hold dropping the silver service against you.
No, my dear. I mean that in the normal course of events, the constabulary does not pop in socially to hobnob with people in exclusive neighbourhoods.
I'm afraid your stepmother's right. It is a bit unusual.
Dreadfully sorry, I didn't know. That's what becomes of receiving my higher education in America.
Oh, that reminds me, what's become of your friend, Mr. Draper?
Barry? He went to see about a room in a hotel in town. I expect him to drop by any moment now.
So you're staying here alone with your stepmother?
Is there anything wrong in that?
And I'm not alone. Not really. Not with Marty here. Except she's not here today.
I see.
Well, I'm certain you must be very busy, Constable, so we'll just let you be on your way.
Oh, there was one more piece of information I forgot to give you.
Yes, what was that?
It may not be important, but...
Please tell us.
Yes, do.
Well, it seems one of the witnesses was the woman who lives in the first floor flat of that building, and she saw Mr. Harst, and she did an odd thing.
You did?
An odd thing.
How odd? What thing?
He removed the name of the tenant of the second floor flat from his position near the bellfish.
He did what?
He removed the name and put it into his pocket.
What an odd thing to do.
We thought so, yes.
Inspector, I was wondering, did your witness happen to notice what sort of jacket he was wearing at the time?
As a matter of fact, she did, because it was so unusual.
And what was so unusual about it?
It was a rather expensive smoking jacket, hardly the sort of thing one wears on the trail of a fugitive cat.
That doesn't seem like the sort of thing Father would do.
No, doesn't seem like him at all to do such a thing. Which makes me suspect that either the witness is in error, or that man was not Edgar.
Which was Edgar, right enough. No, she is certain of that. She even stepped out into the foyer and could see his face quite clearly beneath the straight lamp.
And this second floor flat on Sudbury Lane, what have you done about that?
Why, nothing. What should we do about that?
Didn't you even ascertain who lived there?
Do you think we should?
No! I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be of any help to you. After all, if Edgar was seen leaving the place, he obviously hadn't disappeared as yet. So I'm sure whoever lives there could be of no help in your investigation.
I hadn't thought of that. You're quite right, of course.
Of course I am.
And now that I think of it, I don't suppose it would be any trouble to go and look into the identity of the tenant of the flat, just in case.
Just in case what?
Well, he might have mentioned where he was going next, do you see?
But you just as good said that he came straight back here. You did say the bicycle was in our garage, didn't you?
By Jove, you're right. Well, I suppose it would be a waste of time disturbing whoever lives there now, wouldn't it?
Yes, a terrible waste of time. You really mustn't bother. Susan, why don't you walk the constable to his police car or a bicycle, whatever he came with, like a good little hostess?
Certainly, Mavis, whatever you like. Come, Constable.
Good afternoon.
Oh, a good afternoon. Hello, darling? That dreadful constable is going to investigate the second floor flat on Sudbury Lane. Yes, your flat. How soon can you move out? But he mustn't see you there. If he should connect the two of us. Well, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. All right, darling. If you think it'll work. Oh, by the way, Susan said something about a secret entrance from that room in the cellar where we cooked the you-know-who the other night. No, she didn't. Well, of course I shall question her further. What do you think I am? And so are you, dearest darling. Oh, she's back. I must fly. Ta-ta! Well, darling, back so soon?
It was only to the end of the drive, Mavis.
Yes, of course. I am so worried about your father, I don't know what I'm saying. But you were just going to tell me where the secret entrance to the murder room is.
I was.
Yes, just before the constable dropped.
Oh, do you know, I completely forgot. I cannot remember for the life of me.
What? But you must remember!
Why? Is it so terribly important?
Tell me! Tell me where
Oh, but we've interrupted Mavis. What were you saying, darling?
Nothing important, Susan. Mr. Draper, how nice to see you again. I do hope you can stay a while.
Susan didn't tell you.
Tell me what?
Oh, do you know, it completely slipped my mind.
That's my girl.
What has Susan forgotten to tell me?
Barry and I are going to be married.
What? When?
Right this very afternoon. Isn't it delicious? My Reverend Smithers, won't that be nice?
Susan, the license, the waiting period, the flowers?
Oh, I just scattered a bit of money about in all the right places. They waived all those requirements. It's all set.
Susan, you can't be married just like that.
Why not?
Because, well,
If you're worried about my inheritance, please don't. Barry spoke to Sir Charles about that, and apparently there's no problem whatsoever. If I marry, Barry will be my heir if I should die.
oh no, it wasn't that.
Then what was it, Miss Hollister?
Edgar, surely you don't want to get married without your father there to give you away. And even if you do, think of Edgar's feelings. He'd be so absolutely heartbroken to miss your wedding.
Oh, dash it all, what could we have been thinking?
Yes, that's stupid of us. Well, guess we'll have to just postpone the wedding.
Good.
It's only going to be for a day or so. I certainly can't wait indefinitely.
No, I guess I'll head off into town and tell Reverend Smithers to hold up. Although, wait a second. That could be Sir Charles. I did tell him to ring if there's any problems they haven't thought of.
And perhaps Reverend Smithers can't have the church ready on time for today. So it also might be him.
Oh, well, that wouldn't matter either way, since we can't get married this afternoon after all.
That's true, I suppose. Still and all, I wonder who that could be.
Suppose I answer it and see. Hello? What? Who is this? Who? Oh no. No!
Wrong number?
No!
Then who is it?
It's Edgar!
Oh, what marvelous luck! Perhaps we can be married today after all. Shall I speak to Daddy and see?
By all means, darling.
Daddy? Daddy, darling. Daddy, are you there? Oh, blast. Go on.
Who did this to my kitchen? And who did this to my floor?
Mavis said you bother her.
I bet you can't say that 3 times fast.
What?
Get it?
Well, here, we can't have her cluttering up my clean floor. Will you give me a hand, young man? Now, really.
Sorry, that's just my American whimsicality popping out at the wrong moment. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Okay. Let's see. Why don't we lay her out a little straight like? Maybe? Okay. And then just kind of help her up.
Careful, darling. Don't wrinkle her dress.
I'll try my best. I think I got it from here, like. All right. Let's see. Now, where shall I put her?
Well, I suppose hearing from her missing husband gave her quite a shock, so she'll need a good rest to recover from that. But the sofa isn't quite comfortable enough for that sort of thing, and the armchair is a bit short.
Lottie,
and-
anywhere.
Her bedroom's at the top of the stairs.
No stairs?
Yes, they are a bit steep, aren't they?
Oh, here, let me help.
Let's see. We're going to carry her like a sack of potatoes. Ready? All right. I'm going to get her real well. 1, 2, 3.
There are smelling salts at the medicine cabinet.
Oh, thanks. I could use some.
Miss Susan, would you get the door?
Whatever could you need the door for?
She means answer it.
Oh, of course. How silly of me. Why, Constable? I thought you were interrogating that tenant from that second floor flat on Sudbury Lane.
Well, as matters turned out, I couldn't. Something unexpected went up.
You mean came up?
No, went up. The quarantine sign on the door. Measles. Didn't want to take a chance. Never had the measles.
What a pity.
How do you mean that?
Quite sincerely, of course. But whatever brings you back here?
Oh, well, since I had nothing else to do, I thought I might pop back in and ask you about that secret stairway.
Oh, yes, please do.
Yes, could you tell me about that secret stairway?
Oh, it's right under there.
Oh, under the window seat.
Yes, it opens up, and just underneath it is a stairway. At the bottom foot of the secret stairway is a door that leads to the murder room.
What did you say?
Yes, it opens up, and just
Oh,
underneath
I'm
it
sorry,
is...
no, not everything you said, just what you called it.
Called what?
The murder room.
That's what I called it.
Yes, why
Why, what?
did you call it that?
The murder room.
Yes.
Because that's what Daddy always called it. He said it would be a perfect place to hide a body from detection, if one had a body one did not wish detected, of course.
Of course. Perfectly comprehensible once you explain it.
What isn't?
Well, let's have a look at this window seat of yours. Oh, I see. No one's going to be popping up while I look, is there?
Out of the window seat.
Yes, well, that. Actually, when it's into this room, you see, I wouldn't want anyone popping in while I'm nosing about.
Well, why have not?
Well, you see, I don't have a warrant, and until I establish absolute proof of foul play, I might have a difficult time getting one, so I shouldn't be nosing about. I really should nosy about in order to establish proof of foul play. But until I establish proof that there is, I might have a difficult time getting a warrant to prove that there is.
How's that again?
No, I say, just think now, short for what?
Daddy made the lid immovable.
Well, what good is a secret stairway with an immovable lid?
If the lid were movable, the stairway wouldn't be secret.
Of course, but how did your father use it?
Oh, now I see what you're getting at. Well, when Daddy wanted to use the secret stairway, he simply switched the switch that undid the lid. It's one of those contract prongs.
Which is that secret switch, miss?
Bet you can't say that 3 times fast.
I beg your pardon?
It's one of Barry's little jokes.
I don't get it.
Neither do I.
Could you show me how it works?
Well, first you start with your back against the wall here. Between the coat rack and the umbrella stand. And then, let me think. You take your left foot and place it there, on top of the umbrella stand. And then you take hold of the coat rack, this one, and then you give it a slight twist.
Like this? I say, that's not a good show. What happened?
It closed.
Yes, I can see that, but why?
Well, because Daddy thought that if someone discovered the switch mechanism on accident, they'd see the secret stairway and want to go for it. So, he made the lid close if no one was manning the switch. I wish I had a brain like Daddy's.
Quite sure you haven't.
Haven't what?
Forget it. Would you operate the switch while I have a peep inside?
Yes. Let me see. There you are!
No, I say there's nothing in here but the floor of the window, so you know you're...
Oh, and naturally all you see is the floor right now, but let me stand. Dreadfully sorry, Constable. You see, Daddy arranged it so that when the lid pops up, a false floor swings into place. But if we get inside of the window seat, when the lid closes, the false floor swings out from underneath you, and there you are!
Where I are?
The secret stairway, of course.
Now, you are certain there is a secret stairway. Now, I'd hate for the floor to swing away and have nothing beneath you to long drop into the cellar.
Well, Constable, I assure you that...
Susan!
Yes, darling?
Did you scream just now?
No, darling, that was Constable Howard.
No, they mustn't know I'm here.
Constable Howard?
Don't answer him.
He's not talking to me, he's questioning you.
About what?
About what you said to him.
Susan, why won't you answer me?
Would you mind repeating the question?
What question?
What question?
Susan, who in the world are you talking to?
Whatever makes you think I'm talking, Barry, darling.
I can hear your voice for one thing. Susan, would you mind telling me?
Barry, darling, don't you come down here.
Why not?
Because I'm dressing. Not really, Constable.
In the living room?
What shall I answer?
Don't ask me.
Don't ask me.
Susan, what on earth are you
I've got to
talking
hide.
about?
Where?
The window seats.
But it's closed.
Open it. Have you time, Corn?
Now what?
Close it, you imbecile!
somebody just now?
Yes, darling.
Who?
You, darling, don't you remember?
I mean, somebody down here.
But you are down here.
Well, I wasn't a moment ago.
And I missed you so. I say, darling, have you had the measles?
Not recently.
But at some time or other.
I seem to recall, I mean, I must have been a small child at the time.
Ah, good. Then let's go to a certain little second